The remains of the late former UN Secretary General Mr. Kofi Annan are lying in state in the lobby of the Accra International Conference Centre for public viewing, which started today.
Many who filed past the casket describe the illustrious son of the country as one who has left a vacuum in the lives of people across the globe.
The late former UN Secretary General died on the 8th of August 2018 at Bern, Switzerland, after a short illness. Born 80 years ago at Kumasi in the Ashanti region, Mr. Kofi Annan attended Infantsmem Secondary School after completing his basic education. He then enrolled as an undergraduate student of economics at the Kumasi College of Science and Technology, which later became Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in 1958. After serving as an undersecretary at the United Nations, Mr. Annan rose through the ranks to become the Secretary General of the institution at a time when global peace was under threat and when many had called for reforms at the United Nations. His tenure as Secretary General coincided with the war in Yugoslavia, the Rwandan genocide, the crisis in Iraq and the attack on the Twin Towers in New York. Many who paid their last respect to Mr. Annan on Tuesday morning described him as the masterstroke that stabilized the world in the face of such threats.
That kind of combination in one person of somebody who is spiritually strong, mentally strong, and focused to the point of being very balanced, and even in difficult situations is able to maintain his balance, and is able to see far, is able to mobilize people, in such a smooth and soft manner. These days it's difficult to see them.
He hit the pinnacle in terms of his career, but anybody who spoke to him would find an audience, and he was always courteous. Apart from that, he was intelligent, and he continued developing his brain and challenging himself throughout his life. Even when he left the UN, he continued to work for Africa.
He was a global ambassador for peace. Even after he finished UN, he was working for peace. He had been around Afghanistan, Kosovo, all those places to promote peace. So I think it's a huge loss for Ghana as well as the world.
Kofi abhorred conflicts and violence. That's why he believed in human rights. He believed in rule of law. He abhorred arbitrariness. Kofi had respect for human rights. And no wonder that when Kenyans were killing each other, he was able to stand in and bring peace to the good people of Kenya.
It was during his time that he created a fund to fight against AIDS. So Kofi Annan really contributed a lot.
All right. You know, we all pass through this world. We all have to contribute one way or the other. And looking at where he was and the contradictions and all that, I mean, I'm very happy that him coming from Africa stood on his grounds and was able to let the world know where he belongs.
All right. On his retirement from the UN, Mr. Annan identified three major global challenges: an unjust world economy, world disorder, and widespread contempt for human rights and the rule of law.
When he became the Secretary General, he realized that the man's main aim was to make peace, and wherever he went in the course of his duties, he really made sure peace prevails. So with the peace aspect, I'm very proud of him.
Other than Kwame Nkrumah, personally, I think Kofi Annan is the next person who put Ghana and Africa on the world map. I think he's done well coming from his background. I think he's done very well, yes. I'm really proud of him.
Even when there's a crisis, a serious issue, you won't see any different, the same calm and collected. And he just, expresses his view to an issue, and I felt that such a character need to be emulated.
When he was the Director General, he made sure that the succession plan he put down was very good, and after he had left the seat as Secretary General, the role he's played in Kenya and other African countries, and I believe elsewhere, shows that he's the sort of person who really used to think ahead, like the school he attended during
Jane Shekan and Francis School.
Well, we are expecting a long list of world leaders. The UN Secretary General himself, Antonio Guterres, is going to come with a lot of undersecretaries and a large delegation from the United Nations. I can confirm to you that the president of Zimbabwe is going to attend, the president of Namibia, the president of Ethiopia, the head of state of Cote d'Ivoire, the emir of Qatar. The Nigerian delegation will be led by a former president and a former vice president. The Netherlands delegation will be led by a former queen of the Netherlands, and so on and so forth. It's a long list, and so we expect a high number of high caliber delegations within the funeral activities.
The 3-day burial and final funeral rites for the late Kofi Annan started today with public viewing and filing past. Dignitaries will pay their last respect tomorrow, Wednesday, September 12.